Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be part 2 of 4 in my lecture series on graphing rational functions. If you haven't seen the first part, please go and watch it now before watching this one, because in this video, we're going to talk about horizontal asymptotes. Let's get started. A horizontal asymptote tells us something about the end behavior of a rational function. It tells us what happens to the value of the function as x gets very large or very small. And by small here, I mean very negative. This trend is what we call a horizontal asymptote. And identifying them takes a little bit, or is a little more involved than identifying a vertical asymptote. So, suppose I've got a rational function that looks like n of x over d of x. Here, n of x means numerator, d of x means denominator. If the degree of the numerator is smaller, then y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote. If the degrees match, we take the ratio of the leading coefficients. And if the degree of the numerator is bigger, there is no horizontal asymptote. This is a lot to unpack, so let's do a couple of examples here. Starting with these guys, let's find the horizontal asymptotes of the following. In part A, notice the degree of the numerator is bigger. So if I go back up to my chart, that's falling into the third case. So this tells me there is no horizontal asymptote. Let's try part B now. In part B, the degree of the numerator is smaller than the degree of the denominator. Right? This is just part A flipped over. Here I've got degree 1 in the numerator and degree 3 in the denominator. Remember, degree is the highest power of x that shows up. So, according to my rules, this is case 1, and y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote. So, I have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Last but not least, let's try part C. Notice in part C, both the numerator and denominator are degree 2. So here, the degrees match. And this is kind of the tricky case. According to my set of rules, this is case 2. So I need to take the ratio of leading coefficients. Remember, the leading coefficients are just the constants attached to the highest degree terms. So this is going to be y at 3 is the leading coefficient of the numerator, and 6 is the leading coefficient of the denominator. Or y equals 1/2 would be the horizontal asymptote here. In this video, we saw how to find horizontal asymptotes. In the next video, we're going to talk about a different kind of asymptote called a slant asymptote. But hang in there, because after that, we'll see how all these asymptotes actually shape our graphs. Catch y'all in the next one.